Hey everyone, you know what we're all about? Discipling one another. Say it with me. To reach and
To reach
raise
and
the
raise
next
the next
generation
generation
to
to live
live out
out God's
God's
truth
truth. I know you say it every time. All
every
right,
time.
so most of you heard an update from Pastor Jeff yesterday. If you haven't seen that, head over to YouTube and check out the update. There's some important information on there about some of our pastors and a new season of ministry that they're going to be stepping into. So we're so excited for them. Really sad for us, but excited for them. And so we're praying for them. But Pastor Jeff also shared a very big day that we are praying about that's written in pencil. It's not in stone, so we're still praying about it. But June the 7th, we are prayerfully considering being the day that we come back to be able to do in-person worship services on campus. So we're so excited about that day. And so many of you are asking, what does that look like for my small group? Of course, small groups will not meet on that day. More specifically, children's preschools, even adult small groups won't meet on that day. We're actually going to take a longer phase and a reopening phase of trying to get those groups back meeting on campus. There's a lot of things that we're considering with that, whether it be cleaning procedures or social distancing protocols, how many people can be in a room, those kinds of things. I wouldn't boggle you down for details, but we can confidently say that if we come back on June the 7th, that small groups will not meet that day, but will be several weeks after that, probably late summer, early fall, somewhere in that time frame. So we met with our small group leaders just recently to ask them, how can we get creative doing small groups during this season? You know, we are all about the joy of authentic community within our small groups, and we truly believe that that is a big thing that we all feel in our groups. So we want to know, how can we get creative about experiencing the joy of authentic community? So Matt has some great stuff that we learned yesterday. Matt, what did we learn yesterday?
Well, first of all, it was a great time. We actually got to meet with our leaders again, and kind of we got to hear their hearts about how they've been meeting with their groups and just how they've been reconnecting and trying to just build some sense of normalcy in this time. But we had some really cool feedback when we were talking about some ideas for how to create and foster that authentic community throughout the summer and throughout this time where we're having a social distance. Well, some of our groups were talking about doing drive-up classes where maybe they would come together and do almost like a tailgate, social distancing, of course, and sitting about 6 to 8 feet apart, but sitting in the backs of their cars or sitting there in circle in a parking lot somewhere, just to meet and get back together. Some people were talking about doing groups of families getting together at parks, and of course, again, sitting social distancing, but being able to interact with one another again. Our class in particular, Andrew and I teach a class of young families, and we have a couple that is expecting a child soon, and at this time we want to shower and love on them with some gifts and some love, but we can't. So we've decided we're going to do a drive-up baby shower where we're going to take diapers and wipes and just all kinds of goodies for a newborn baby, drop it off on their porch, and do almost like a parade by and just yell to them and wave to them and love on them as best we can from a distance. Brian Everett actually surprised his entire group with King's Hawaiian rolls, where he just showed up at their house, brought them King's Hawaiian rolls, rang the doorbell, and then stood back about 8 feet and just talked to them just so they could have that interaction. But one of our favorite ones was an idea where somebody said, a lot of this sounds like we're doing Christmas caroling over the summer. And so what a fun way it would be to reconnect with your groups if you did a little Christmas caroling in July.
In July.
And we thought that was funny because it's a great, and it's an genius way to kind of get back together with one another. And if you do it, please go to Andrew Sutherland's house because he would love it. He would totally love it.
Of course he would.
Yeah. But listen, guys, if you have anything else that's creative you didn't hear us say, but maybe you said, hey, our group's been doing something, comment below and let us know about that. Let us know how you're creating authentic community with your groups. You're reconnecting over the summer in creative ways and maybe fun ways, because other groups may be looking for something to do and they may be waiting for you to tell them what you've done and it's been successful. So make sure you follow us as well and hit the notifications and on both Facebook and YouTube. And Andrew, what else do we have?
Yeah. So Matt, thank you for that, man. That's so encouraging to hear. All of you that are continuing to meet, getting creative. You're probably like me. Zoom called out. Zoom has been a great resource during this season, but there is just no substitution for face-to-face interaction, a handshake, a high five, even if it's an Air 5, from a distance, something like that. It's always really good to get back together. I miss being able to do that. But you know what? We're praying for June the 7th. Pray for Pastor. Pray for Grady. Pray for our pastoral staff and all of our volunteers and everyone, because, we really want to make sure that we're safe, but we want to get the doors open back as soon as possible. So pray for that day. Pray that we'll be able to do that. And we love you, people. We cannot wait to see you really, really soon. I'm such a high fiver and a handshaker. I want to hug your necks as best I can, as much as I can. But we're going to continue to pray for June the 7th and hopefully see you very, very soon.